This time, the team goes to town, but not literally, on Skoda Superb. It's big, it's practical, but is there more?
We've got an umbrella in the door.
Umbrella on the door.
Umbrella in the
That's
door.
it.
Like
I love an
Rolls-Royce.
umbrella on the door.
They've got the umbrella.
Jason takes 2 compact EVs, which are sold on driving pleasure, to the track. But which one can actually handle the twisties?
Do you know what? It's just putting a smile on my face. It's a fun little car.
Merck's new electric exec faces a very exacting exec. Can it make Theo smile?
I mean, it has got an amazing pickup, hasn't it?
And Grace is invited to drive Ferrari's first V6 with hybrid power.
It certainly feels monstrously quick.
But first, we'll be sampling Land Rover's latest Defender with hybrid power. Can it still rough the tough stuff?
Push, push, push.
Like a proper landy?
So that was a little bit lively.
This is 5th gear.
What with the difference?
They'll still be screaming.
And squealing.
Would you just slow down?
And shouting.
Stupid idea. I can't listen to this nonsense.
But there'll also be this.
The EV revolution is here.
But are electric vehicles right for you?
What are the costs, choices, and challenges?
And how do they stack up against their petrol-powered rivals?
We're here to tell you everything you need to know about the new automotive landscape.
This is the future of driving.
This is 5th gear recharged.
Anyone who watches 5th Gear regularly will know I'm a bit of a Land Rover Defender fan. I've enjoyed taking presenters old and new to the Landy's limits.
Yeah, and then you've got...
Jimmy!
No, that, I'm barely doing any work.
The same basic design stuck around for 33 years, but at the end of 2019, Land Rover finally launched an all-new Defender. However, as we've now become 5th Gear recharged, we had to wait a while to drive it because initially only combustion engine models were available. Fortunately, that wait is over because this has now been added to the range, a plug-in hybrid. And that's why I've got a very big smile on my face. It's called the P400E. And while the main power source is a turbocharged 2-litre petrol engine, Land Rover have bolted on a 19.2 kilowatt-hour battery pack and motor as well. That sounds pretty exciting, so I've called on a young co-driver to share the fun, my new colleague, Sideways Sid. Although he possibly knows more about getting the back out than getting out of a box. I mean, I know you can do the business on the tarmac, but how do you feel on a kind of more all-terrain kind of environment?
I have to be honest, Jimmy, the last time I went off-road, I put a car in a ditch. I've been told slow and steady is the key, which I didn't do.
Should we jump in and give it a go?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sid, this car comes in 3 modes. I've got full EV mode, so that's battery only. I've then got save mode, that limits the amount of EV I'm using, but I want today hybrid mode, which allows me to access the maximum amount of horsepower, so that's what I'm going to be using today.
How much power is it producing?
So I've got now just over 400 horsepower, so plenty of power. However, you've got to remember it does weigh over 2.5 tons. So as you can see there, it's set up, it's going to change loads of settings on the car. So we're going to change ride height, gear ratio, the diffs and what's going on. So it's going to give me, hopefully, loads of control, but we are ready to go. So shall we? Shall we? Here we go. We should be set and away we go. The battery can propel this car on EV power alone for 27 miles at up to 85 miles an hour. But what shall we do with a 93 grand top of the range Landy? How about we point it up a hill and press go? Land Rover say this car is good for 45 degrees, which is about there. Yeah. This isn't quite that, but it is pretty steep. I hope I can use my skills to make it, otherwise Sid will gloat. However, here we do need to play the momentum card because things are getting loose and we need that power to drive us through.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, you ready for it? Let's go. We make it, but I'm bemused.
I don't like the computer. No, it was going to do a full donut for you, and then it just
said,
cut it. Yeah.
We've got up. Let's go down. Okay, so hill descent, we've got that on. So what I really do like about this is we can pick the speed at which we descend. Got hill descent on numbers just by doing this toggle. So that's set on 5 miles per hour now, but I can turn that. So let's say 8 miles per hour, that's going to be my descent speed.
Okay.
So you got confidence in the descent?
Sure.
You were gripping that handle a bit tight.
No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. Look, I'll cross my arms.
Cross your arms?
Yep.
Let it off and go?
Yeah, we'll do it.
All right, so this is 8 miles an hour, and as we descend, I can turn that down. So I'm turning that down now to 5.
Oh, yeah.
I can feel that have an
wow.
effect.
Pretty well. It's gone up to 9 at one point. But
Yeah,
it's
but
all right.
that slowed me right down.
But that's really controllable.
And then I can just edge that up now, and you can just feel we're just accelerating just by the mile per hour. So that's now 8. And that's really nice because quite often, hill descent can be quite pedestrian-like.
It feels so well controlled in here.
And nice and smooth, isn't it?
Yeah, easy.
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 Easy for your turn?
Yeah.
I've got a feeling I'm about to experience Send It, aren't I?
Yeah.
But going down a hill would never stretch a proper landy. Here in Wales, there are other 4x4 challenges for it to tackle, and a nasty-looking track is the perfect start for Sid. So the next we've got is up here, a bit of a rock crawl.
Okay. Okay, I'm pretty sure we're doing rock crawl, so you select rock crawl.
See, I mean, there is a lot of settings, but they do make it quite simple, don't they?
Yeah, literally. Anyone can work this. So I just simply press rock crawl, select low range, so I've got to go in neutral.
My differential on this would just be nice and steady away. You'd probably get, as we go up the odd step, a bit of slip in. I'm interested to see how this performs compared to that, because, I mean, this is, don't forget, a heavy beast.
It is 2.6 tons. It's no lightweight, is it?
So the differences we've got here is we've got 2 limited slip diffs, one in the middle and one at the back, and they're going to be continually varying the amount of differential we get, the locked wheels moving together. So that's going to change all the time. So we should get a lot more torque down, a lot more grip because of those 2 variable diffs.
You can tell that it's doing its work supremely well. Even the traction control, it's working overtime.
That didn't slip at all, did it?
No.
Nothing is slipping, sliding. We didn't like the over-controlled computer, but we're warming to the way the Land Rover can take anything you throw at it. So we're here in this type of car, and there's a test you always do, isn't there? It's almost not worth saying. The water challenge. We've got loads of settings on this, and there is a setting just for this, so we've got a Wade setting. That's it, engaged. Now that does a load of pretty cool things. One, it softens your throttle response. So if you're kind of getting knocked about, you're not going to be jerky. That's really important in order. 2, it's obviously going to raise the suspension to the highest height. But 3, it also does a load of stuff with all the air con and air circulation. So it's only recirculating internal air, so we're not sucking in any air from the outside.
No way.
Yeah, so we don't do anything nasty.
Pretty
Yeah,
clever.
pretty good. Let's see if Sid's foot-down dynamics work here, because they really shouldn't. Yeah, send it. Yeah, bow wave, yeah. Push, push, push. Good. So that was probably a little bit lively, because you'll see there, we lost total vision. What did you have to do when we lost vision?
Come off the power.
You had to stop, yeah? So that's when you can have a problem.
Which is probably not a good way of doing it.
Nah, so that was probably a little bit over-aggressive. We've managed not to damage this horribly expensive car at all, but we did lose the number plate, and if I've got one rule, it's you never leave a number plate behind. Take Sid off-road in, they said.
Look, it's not my fault the number plate's come off.
No, number plate coming off. You didn't physically take it off, Sid. It might be your fault that the throttle was depressed to where it was depressed to.
You told me it was 700 deep and the car can weigh 900.
Yeah.
So
I told you also about a bow wave.
Yeah, you did.
We had a tidal wave.
Yeah, but you gotta have a bit of excitement.
Tragically, we didn't find it. Sid, I've got to be honest, I have thoroughly enjoyed taking you for a spin in this today.
Likewise, it's been a good laugh.
Yeah, it really has. All in all, I think the car did its job and it got us here, which, as far as I can see, is the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, literally.
The only snag in the mix is that we both thought some of the materials were a little bit tacky for a 92 grand car, but still, it does the job rather nicely, and even Sideways Sid failed to generate any extra drama out of this test.
Now it's time to get a first look and first drive of a brand new EV. Yes, it's the 5th gear recharged team test.
Today, the team tested the Skoda Superb EV estate.
The Skoda Superb, let's face it, isn't a poster car. It's not even an SUV. Very untrendy. Practical families love them, but will they love it with plug-in hybrid power? Are we looking at the pinnacle of value or a bit of a yawn? Prices start at 38 grand. We've got the top spec, which is 46.
You get almost 40 miles on electric power only, and then a 1.4 litre petrol turbo kicks in.
I think for value for money, the Skoda Superb, over the last few years, whenever they've...
Is it superb?
They are superb.
I mean, how brave of a company to call their car Superb, and then they've got to live up to it, hey?
I'm a little bit underwhelmed.
Ooh.
It looks like every other Skoda estate I've ever seen. Where's the progression?
I think it is a really stylish bit of kit.
My mum had a Skoda Octavia. It doesn't look like
Do you
it's
not think
moved
that's
on
an
at all.
old trope? I think they're so much better now.
But Jimmy wasn't finished yet.
Can I just point something out?
What?
What is this? Here, it looks like a bird has had a bit of an accident on the
It's a
side.
nasty badge, isn't it?
That squiggly signature. It doesn't feel like it should be on a car. That feels like that should be on some sort of violin or oboe.
This represents the two people who started a car and a motorbike company before Skoda took it over. So this is their nod to the past.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not a nice-looking car. I think it is. And you know what? I think it is just an age thing. I like an estate car now.
I've gone 10 years now.
Yeah.
Estates. 10 years as of this
Have
year.
you really?
Of just estates. Love them. And with kids now, it's
Oh, here
just
we go, look.
open the boot, whatever you
Chuck
want.
it in.
You need luggage space for bikes and kids, stuff like that. I'm going to give you luggage space. Because in here is a very impressive amount of space. And it was large.
You couldn't almost lie straight.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what?
So, yeah, you know, Karun took it upon himself to display the size of the boot. Well, actually, he's not the right sort of person. He's only a wee little lad, isn't he?
So let's open him up. See,
Was it
little
Skoda
dividers.
that had an ice scraper integrated somewhere in their boot?
Oh, there's a... No,
They-
there is. I tell you what there is.
They've got a
Is it-
scraper.
no, we've got an umbrella in the door.
Umbrella on the
here.
door.
Umbrella in
Has
the door.
it?
Like
I love an umbrella
Rolls-Royce.
on the door.
Is it there?
It's gotta be. It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
No, let's try this one.
I'm trying to find the ice scraper.
Somebody's nicked our umbrella.
I'm me, I've got the umbrella.
That's great.
Oh, it's tiny. Boys, feast yourselves on the back seat.
Oh, my God.
Jesus, that is huge, isn't it? The legroom in the rear is insane. It's like a limo.
The package inside this car is starting to look way more impressive than what I considered was going on the outside of the car.
However, the boys felt our Lauren and Clement version didn't quite deserve the price hike over the entry-level option.
I'm still getting a standard feel, and this is meant to be nicer.
I see where you're coming from. For the extra 8,000,
But
it doesn't feel extra special.
Okay, everyone, should we strap in?
Let's.
And off we go.
What's the feel like?
I like the steering. I think it is pretty accurate. I've got nice feedback. I feel properly connected to this car, and it's got a good amount of grip underneath.
What do you think the grip would be like over the jump here?
Oh, should we try?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Jimmy, don't look.
Why
Put it
have you
in
stopped?
sport. I've got lots of modes.
You got
Need a little bit more speed.
No, that was fine. That was fine.
So, after a day with the Skoda Superb, would it get a score to match its name?
I think the Skoda Superb is one of the best value for money estates out there, so I'm going to give it an 8.
The Skoda Superb Hybrid? It's going to be a good score. It's going to be a great score. I'm giving it an 8.
The space absolutely blew me away, but the styling just wasn't there, so I give it a solid 7.
Good things about the car are the handling, the ride, and then of course you've got all of that space inside. So I'm going to give it a good solid 8.
Which gives the Skoda Superb an excellent score of 31 out of 40. Coming up after the break, I get behind the wheel of a newcomer with a proper sense of style.
It's got a 170 horsepower motor, a 51 kilowatt hour battery, and costs just £26,000.
Behind the wheel of a new EV, and this could be a game changer if you're thinking of going electric. But first, what is it? Well, it looks really nice. Actually, more than nice.
It is quite striking, isn't it? If you squint a bit at the front end, there's a hint of Lamborghini Urus about it, which is one of my favourite cars. The razor-sharp headlights, the sloping pointy bonnet, and the blacked-out treatment around the registration plate.
We've even hidden the badge to see if you can guess the maker of this car. I'll give you a clue. It's British-born.
There's also a hint of Lambo about the roofline, and it has a similar pinched-in waist and, of course, the deep black band at the bottom to disguise its height.
Then you get to the rear,
which looks nothing like a Lamborghini. I think it looks a bit like a Honda Civic with all its flamboyant flicks and protruding body parts.
So what is it, this Lambo Honda love child? Have you guessed yet? An MG!
Yes, it is an MG made in China.
So, MG, it was British, best known for the classic MGB in the 60s. Then it was an Austin add-on with the MG Metro, Maestro and Montego in the 80s. And 15 years ago, it went 5,000 miles away to China. MG is a company that we have a lot of time for, as it puts value at the top of the list. This is actually a car at the budget end of the market, but doesn't present like one. The MG4 marks a new chapter for the company because it's built on a new EV platform.
There are 3 levels of spec, starting with the SE standard range. It's got a 170 horsepower motor, a 51 kilowatt hour battery, and the range is 218 miles.
And there's a decent amount of kit thrown in, including an emergency braking system, adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, traffic jam assist, and traffic sign recognition.
Shall we talk price? In fact, I'm going to insist on it because the SE standard range costs just £26,000.
Yes, you heard correctly. That's £9 grand cheaper than VW's ID3 with a similar size and spec. Next model up is the SE Long Range, which has a 64 kilowatt battery, so the range rises to 281 miles. Not much is added to the options list, but you can get an active grille at the front, which improves battery cooling and therefore efficiency.
That one has 204 horsepower. 0 to 62 happens in under 8 seconds, and it'll go on to 100 miles an hour.
And the price?
£28,500. So it's still shy of 30 grand.
Now remember, these days £30,000 isn't a lot of money for a full EV. In fact, it's closer to a second-hand price. If you go for the high-spec Trophy Long Range, you'll pay up to £31,500. Still pretty good. But the interior shows signs of cost-cutting.
You can tell that this car is an EV from the ground up because it has got a flat floor throughout the cabin. And underneath that is a battery that is just 11 centimetres deep, and that runs between the front axle and the rear axle. Now, the cabin is a very pleasant place to be. There are no nasty, scratchy plastics. However, I would prefer a better bolstered seat and also some more upmarket material to cover them.
Like most modern cars, the dash is dominated by a large infotainment screen at 10.25 inches. This gives you access to Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and other functions.
This system isn't the most intuitive to use, and nor is it the most difficult, but it is a bit tricky to use the screen when you're actually on the move. Best, therefore, to use the bigger buttons and the steering wheel controls if you can. Below all of this is a floating centre console with a wireless charging pad for your phone and the gear selector. Underneath the pad are some holes for wires that you can connect your phone to the Apple CarPlay. It's not the most beautifully designed wiring system I've ever seen.
Directly behind the wheel is another screen with all the usual essential info. Now, the MG4 might be a world away from the cars MG used to make, but it hasn't forgotten its roots because a bit of sportiness lurks within.
This car is rear-wheel drive, as all good sports cars should be, and the weight distribution is 50-50 front and rear. And although it weighs 2,133 kilograms, most of that weight is low down, really close to the ground, giving it a low centre of gravity, which means it should corner very well. As you'd expect with an electric car, the power delivery is pretty potent.
0 to 62 happens in around 7.5 seconds. Though top speed doesn't even have 3 numbers, it's 99 miles an hour. When it comes to badge appeal, MG clearly has it. It outsells Mini, Land Rover, Skoda, Volvo and Renault in the UK.
This car is targeting models like VW's ID3. Is it as good? In some areas. Will it steal sales? Absolutely, because this is £9,000 cheaper, and believe me, it's not £9,000 worse.
Coming up after the break, 2 pocket EVs whose makers know a thing or two about engineering a fine drive. But can they handle Jason?
I'm going to go straight to sport and wring its neck.
And we've still got Ferrari's new hybrid.
Off we jolly well go!
And a Dragon tests a top-line EV Merc.
This is my very first time driving an electric car.
Oh, yeah.
We present for your pleasure a 5th gear recharged shootout. Take 2 cars that occupy the same motoring ground, put them on a track and find out which one gets around quickest. This time we've got a pair of supermini EVs, the Honda E and a Peugeot e-208. Any car nut knows Peugeot built one of the greatest hot hatches of all time, the 205 GTI. Does this 208 GT share any of its DNA?
Now, the GT package, it doesn't add anything in terms of power. It's still got the same engine as normal, 136 horsepower, but it does give stiffer suspension, wider tyres, which will improve grip, and in theory, well, lap time.
In fact, the Peugeot beats the Honda on just about all stats. 0 to 60 in 8.1 seconds, top speed of 93 miles an hour. It's 70 kilograms lighter and it costs £4 less. But will that matter on the track where the numbers, well, they're not the whole story?
One of the first things you notice is it doesn't accelerate very quickly. The car weighs 1,455 kilos, which in the the world of EVs, that's pretty light. But compared to the original 205 GTI, that was 850 kilos. So it's in a different world. Got a lot of understeer, particularly on the way into the corners. And I must say, I've never been a fan of this weird steering dashboard relationship. I just can't see the dash. I don't like it.
OK, let's settle this argument once and for all. It's the hot lap time.
Right, come on then. Come on, accelerate! She hasn't got any get up and go. I mean, after 60 miles an hour, it just seems slow. Oh man, understeer. So we're in sport mode, and it does feel a bit lazy. It needs more grunt, this car. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. Right, and stop the watch.
1 minute 32 seconds, not a bad result. Let's see how the Honda fares.
Now, before we get going, I've got to quickly mention range. Now, that's something which I normally wouldn't care about during shootouts, but this Honda, well, it's only got 131 miles.
By contrast, the Peugeot is good for 229 miles.
And those numbers have been calibrated with the Vicar driving in normal mode, and obviously I'm going to go straight to sport and ring its neck. So I best get cracking and tell you what it's like.
The 0 to 60 is 8.3 seconds. Not scorching, but it feels enough to have some fun.
Now visually there appears to be a bit of conflict here because the inside is very space age and the outside is very retro. I like that. I think it looks, from the outside, looks really cute, fun, friendly. By doing away with exterior wing mirrors with these TV screens I've got, which would be the door mirrors, they're great, I like that. It's a really funky, nicely designed bit of kit. And guess what? It's rear-wheel drive. When would you imagine you'd ever say, I've got a rear-wheel drive Honda? You can feel the chassis is just a bit more neutrally balanced. It still has a little bit of understeer, but we are on a slightly damp circuit. I mean, there's no chance I'll be getting the back out. Just hasn't got enough grunt. Right, traction control is off. I think we need to get after a fast lap.
I'm down to 9% battery life with hardly any range. I better go on with it.
Power, go! Ready to get a good exit here, right on the... Pitch it in. Ooh, didn't have a little brake there. Running a little wide. Got away with it. Brakes are great, but it's annoying that when I brake hard, the hazard warning lights keep coming on. What for? Suspension is pretty soft. I tell you what, if you fire into a corner a bit too quick, it has got quite a lot of understeer and float. Yeah, it's fun. I've got a smile on my face. Oh, yeah, my brakes are good. You've got to keep this thing rolling all the time to get a decent lap time out of it. You know what, I think this is going to be quicker than the Peugeot. Not by much. Do you know what? It's just putting a smile on my face. It's a fun little car.
OK, let's get to the times. The lighter, more powerful and front-wheel drive Peugeot beats the Honda by 0.15 of a second. I thought the Honda had it, but the stopwatch never lies.
For decades, the Mercedes-Benz S-Class has been known as the luxury saloon, perfectly reflecting the brand values in terms of style, quality and engineering. Spawning 7 generations, it's often referred to as the best car in the world.
The S-Class still exists, but Mercedes realised that a new day has dawned. And that new day is not powered by petrol or diesel, but it's powered by batteries. So Mercedes needed an all-electric S.
And this, along with other models in its EV range, bears the EQ name, meaning electronic intelligence. But the EQS has not been adapted from an existing car. It's been completely designed from the ground up for electric power. It also represents a totally different design language for Mercedes. Bye-bye to the old 3-box saloon.
Whether you like its design or not, we are here to find out whether this car is worthy of the S badge. Although it's not me that it's going to have to impress.
It needs to pass muster with the type of discerning owner who expects high class and high standards. I'm putting the EQS under the formidable gaze of car nut Theo Perfitus, one of the UK's most successful businessmen and a former dragon in the den. He's built up a wonderful car collection, and this is just a taste of it. However, these two are usable favourites, a Maybach and a long wheelbase Range Rover. Could the EQS be his first electric motor?
I'm a big fan of Mercedes. In fact, I've got Mercedes, I've got the Maybach, so I've always been a fan, always had Mercedes in the family.
The Mercedes-Benz EQS. What are your first impressions here?
Toyota. Ooh. Uber driver.
Oh!
It doesn't excite me
Yeah.
as a car.
I think when you arrive somewhere in the Maybach, people know something special is about to happen. Theo is going to pop out.
Well, fairness, when you arrive in that beautiful long wheelbase Range Rover,
Yeah.
it looks fabulous.
Yeah. The reason why the shape is what it's like is because it is the slipperiest production car ever made. It's got a drag coefficient figure of 0.20. Your Range Rover, by comparison, is 0.30.
Do I have to keep polishing it every day to keep my drag coefficient factor to 0.2? You know, at the moment, I can't say I'm excited.
No, well, I need to show you the boot. So I've got 610 litres of space, right? 60 more than the S-Class.
That's a good-sized boot. But it looks like a hatchback.
Yeah, it has technically got a hatchback. Should we get you in the business end? Allow me.
Thank you very much, madam. Oh.
Oh, I don't think my hat's going to stay on, if you don't mind, sir. So how are things to start with back there?
So I've got bags of legroom.
OK, good.
Can we open the blinds?
We can, sir. Hello, Mercedes. Please open the sunroof blinds. OK, does that
see, that's
give...
much better. I've got more light in it. It was very claustrophobic, very dark.
Right.
One of the EQS's USPs is a pleasing 0 to 62 time, around 6 seconds. Right now, though, I'm cruising on some private land, the perfect real-world backseat testing ground.
Right, so we're sitting in the back, a bit upright.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this is leather or PVC at the back.
PVC?
Yeah, I know, you don't call it PVC now.
Faux leather.
Faux leather,
Yeah.
sorry, faux leather. It doesn't exude luxury, does it? It's not.
Yeah.
Is this because it's a basic model?
Well, no. This is the 450 Plus. It's the AMG line Premium Plus, which is not quite the top end, but it's £114,000 worth of car.
What else can you get for 114 grand?
A Range Rover.
Yep.
But you're fully electric here.
Okay. And range. I'm going to Blackpool today, so that is about 250 miles.
OK, a round trip of 250?
No, one way.
One way.
So it'd be 500.
Yeah.
I know you're good with numbers, Vicky.
So this car...
I've seen you divide a bill.
This car has a claimed range of just over 450 miles.
And is that without the aircon on? The windscreen wipers?
That's pretty much...
Heating?
Yeah.
So in the real world?
It would definitely get you one way, and then you can charge up when you get up.
And how long will that take me?
Amazingly, between 10% and a full charge, it takes about 30 minutes.
30 minutes?
Yeah.
That is very impressive.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh, has that got you thinking?
But you're really changing my mind about electric cars.
So what sort of business do you do when you're in the car?
Everything I do in my business mainly happens in the back of the car.
Yeah.
Because that's when I'll read documents, I'll reply to documents, I'll reply to emails. Obviously, there's no table here, so I can't actually rest my laptop and iPad, so it's not great for working. And sometimes we're on our way home, I'll just sleep.
Yeah. So how's the back of the EQS looking for a sleepy position?
I might struggle to fall asleep because I'm so upright.
Yeah.
Theo has a long trip later on, but before then, he's squeezing in a local meeting at one of his outlets.
Thank you very much. See you in a minute.
Right, my darling.
See ya.
I should be opening the door, shouldn't I? Eek, I'm sacked.
I'll do it myself, don't you worry. Hello, Mark.
Hi. Hi, Theo.
How you doing?
Good to see you.
Good.
10 minutes later, he's ready to be collected.
You're meant to be outside the store.
I'm so sorry. I have one job. I'm really bad at it. Do you want to take over?
I think I better. Come on, shove over. Let me do it. I'll show you how it's done. Done. I don't know. Get up the door. And off we jolly well go. Oh, I did look. This is my very first time driving an electric car.
Oh, yeah. Pop that electric cherry.
On the road of Weybridge. This is smooth. Is it smoother to drive than sitting in the back?
Oh, interesting.
This eye-catching digital dash that goes across to the passenger side is an £8,000 extra.
What do you think about digital dashes like this that have got no physical buttons?
Whilst I like a good dial,
Yeah.
I also like a good gadget.
Yes.
Now he's no longer trapped in the back, Theo can really start to enjoy the 333 horsepower, and the EQS scores some valuable points.
I mean, it has got an amazing pickup.
Yeah.
I mean, this does get to 70 miles an hour very, very quick.
Yeah.
I can't feel the car when I'm braking like I would want to feel the car.
So, Theo, the £100,000 question is, are you in or are you out?
Okay, £100,000 is a huge amount of money, but not in luxury car terms. And this isn't a luxury car. This is a nice car.
We seem to have hit a wall about what the EQS actually is.
With your knowledge of the Mercedes S-Class, how would you compare that to this?
No, the S-Class is a great car. This isn't. I love all the dash. I love all this, all the gadgets. It looks like they got lots of technology worked out and they forgot they needed a car to put it in. And then they just, oh, can someone knock up a design for a car, please? I think it's amazing they can do 400 plus miles.
Yeah.
And I think what is more amazing, the fact that this car can go from 10% charge to fully charged in half an hour. That's nuts.
From a rather negative start, Theo is impressed by the EQS's technical abilities. Decision time. If we respec this car with a £4,000 reclining seat pack, would Theo be persuaded to open his checkbook and sign on the dotted line?
Only if I'd been hit on the head with a mallet and I didn't know what day of the week it was, would I even make that decision.
Coming up, Ferrari offers a V6 for the first time with hybrid power on top.
It just feels silky smooth going through the box. My colleagues on Fifth Gear have had plenty of fun over the years, driving sports cars with a prancing horse on the front. Of course, I'm talking about Ferrari. Well, now it's my turn. They've invited me to test their latest 296 V6. Now, that V6 aspect is important. Enzo Ferrari believed all his cars should only have V12s. That cost too much, so he launched the Dino sub-brand to use the cheaper V6s. The Dino became a huge hit and ironically developed into the Ferrari V8, which we know and love. But there has never been a V6 Ferrari. Until now. And just like the Dino, there's a hard top, the GTB, and now there's this, the convertible GTS. With the roof up, it looks like the hardtop GTB, but drop the retractable hardtop down and what emerges is a really pretty car. It's open-top motoring, but still preserving those evocative lines inspired by the 1960s 250 LM, Ferrari's last Le Mans winner. And to me, it's absolutely stunning. It looks good, but Ferraris have always been about their engines as much as their looks. And this one hides another secret that's quite un-Ferrari. It's got hybrid power thrown in. But can this V6 hybrid evoke the magic of the V8? Let's find out. Inside the rear engine cover is a plug-in hybrid powertrain that combines a 3-litre V6 engine with an electric motor. Together, they combine to make 830 horsepower. That's more than enough punch to put it on a level playing field with the Ferrari V8s that have gone before. But actually, put your foot down and you'd swear there were even more cylinders under those cam covers. So during testing, engineers called this engine the Piccolo V12 because it sounded so much like a bigger Ferrari power plant. And that sound is no accident, because Ferrari have spent a really long time making sure that this engine sounds like a proper Ferrari. And that's thanks to their hot tube system, which delivers noise from the engine straight into the cabin. The engine's 120-degree V is very wide, like most boxer formats, keeping the centre of gravity low and allowing the turbochargers to sit in the centre of the V. How does that phenomenal power translate to the road? Ferrari say that this car will do 0 to 62 miles per hour in 2.9 seconds and will keep going until it's doing 205 miles per hour. And it certainly feels monstrously quick. And you know what's really impressive is that the power delivery is so seamless. You don't get the sense that the engine and electric motor are sharing duties. In fact, not only does the electric motor disguise itself, it also manages to disguise the turbos, so it feels like a really strong, naturally aspirated engine. I think Enzo would have been impressed. The power is really just part of the story. Electric cars with ballistic performance figures can go as fast as supercars, but just don't drive as well. So, how does this car feel? The power is fed to the rear wheels via an 8-speed dual-clutch paddle shift, and it just feels silky smooth going through the box. Ferrari cares deeply about the way a car changes direction. Usually tautness is compromised once the roof is removed, but this has got fantastic fluidity. The open roof doesn't hold it back. This is a really complex car with lots of technology doing clever things, but it doesn't get in the way of how the car feels. If you can criticise the 296 GTS at all, then it might be in here. Some of the controls are a bit fiddly and there's only one screen, so you don't always have all the information that you need when you need it. Then there's the price, which starts at around £270,000 and quickly goes north the more extras that you add. But Ferrari buyers aren't too bothered by that. In fact, the cost is what makes these cars exclusive, and that's what owners want. Ferrari have produced a V6 engined car that's still undeniably a Ferrari. But it's a Ferrari for the modern age as we transition towards full electrification. And with its plug-in hybrid powertrain, it will do 15 miles without even firing up that charismatic V6 at all. So, does a V6 with an electric motor replicate a classic Ferrari V8? And would Enzo have approved? Yeah, I think Enzo would be proud.